Okay, today we're going to cover some housekeeping stuff when you are doing the development. The previous lecture we have covered how to use widgets. We might spend a little bit more time later this week to do a little bit more about iPad widget. But for today, we're just going to show you how to release a new version, how to build a website locally. Because so far, all of you have been using the GitHub actions, build the website automatically. But sometimes when the website fail, you keep pushing stuff and then until it pass. But there's a way that you can test website locally and everything works out, and then you know the website not going to fail. So in that way, you don't have to push many commits GitHub in order to fix the website issues. And so this is the one that we're looking at here. Like I said, the website is built automatically using Markdown. So template is called MkDocs. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you will be able to see like map series for MkDocs. So MkDoc is just one of the options that allows you to documentation website. This one open source package that you can utilize. You don't have to pay anything. So it's built on top of this one. You see the website looks very similar. If you want the website to be something different, you can. There are a lot more advanced features. A lot of things you can use, but we are just using the most basic one here. So you can menus, you can have search bar. You can even turn on, for example, the dark mode. Try this one out. The dark mode. You can search anything. For example, you can anything you can type. So there's not really anything that you need to do in order to create a website manually. Just simple markdown, and you can also have a button here that you can navigate back to the website. And also on the left side here, we're gonna cover, for example, how you add those notebooks and so the notebook runs. Then you can also like this is one way to check whether your source code works or not. Because if you have a notebook, demonstrate the functionality, your notebook should be able to run and then check the result. So you see here, right, everything error anything. So we're gonna cover some of the basic how you run this one locally so that you can test it. If you really want to look into that, show you. Right, so this is the GitHub actions, and if we click GitHub workflows, so there are two versions here: Docs build, and also Docs. So eventually, your website is going to be built by this one. You go into the Docs YML YAML file. This is one actually showing the instruction how the website built. And I'm going to show you here, you're going to create a virtual computer using Linux 3.11. It's going to install all the dependencies, so include the requirements.txt and also requirements.db.txt. So there are differences between, if you look at the file here, we have two versions. First one, requirement.txt. Yeah, I put some of these packages here because I use iPad widget, iPad NumPy, and Pandas. But there's also other packages that I didn't include there, but it's under here, requirements of ev.txt. So you might notice in here, I have a couple more in here. This is actually the one that you use to build the website. But for users that want to use your package, they don't need to build a website. They just use the website directly. But for you, you need to use those packages to build a website. So these are not the required dependency for your package, but it's required for your development. And so far, we haven't really touched this one here. And you might notice this MkDocs. So it's actually a Python package that allows you to website. And these are some of the so-called extensions or the plugins allow you to add a little bit more. For example, MkDocs Jupyter. This is where you actually have this one. Was able to actually show you the Jupyter notebook and show you the output and other stuff. This one is basically using the MkDocs Jupyter. Everything that you see from here, you can just Google it. You'll be able to find it. So for example, if this package, right click, you can Google it. You should be able to find the corresponding GitHub report. So these are things that people build on top of this the MkDocs package. You can, if you run into any issues, you can use. And I believe I've asked a couple questions before. Actually. when I'm using that, I run into all kind of issues. I report, get fixed, gets improved. So certainly you can try to use those if you want to look into, for example, here's a download button. If this one has, but in your template, I already built everything, so you don't have to do manually. I'm showing you that this is a website that built on top of a Python package, MkDocs, a bunch of other dependencies. You might also notice at the bottom here, 10 minutes ago, like when it was modified, when last modified. You go back to again to this here. I see this one, git reuse and date plugin. This shows you basically like at the bottom here when it was. We don't use all of them for the website. I mean, for the website, mostly this MkDocs stuff. That's it. And so next, I'm going to show you how you can actually build website locally. And if you want to, you can again look at this the MkDocs. Again, there are two versions here. They are pretty much the same. The docs build is for pull requests. So if people submit a pull request, you don't want them to deploy the website, right? Because they might mess up your website. So the docs build is basically build a temporary website. And if once you merge into your main branch, it's going to run this one, then you're going to update the website. So when people are contributing, you don't want them to make changes to your final report, your website. Your website should stay the same. Your website will only be updated when you merge the commits to your main branch. Make sense? So for example, you are working like a UTK website, right? You don't want people, the admin, they don't want you to modify the website. Make sense? But you can modify your department website and other stuff. And you, once this finalized, you can merge it back into the main website, then we change the main website. So this one allows you to check basically when people submit a pull request, build the website, but it's not merged to the, it doesn't replace your main one. But at least you can see whether the website fail or not. If it fail, then you need to ask them to fix it. But under the hood, it looks like it's pretty much the same, pretty much similar. Instead of using the MkDocs view, the other one is use MkDocs basically request. Basically, the last step is different. This one is basically deploy. Previous one doesn't deploy, but you actually. And so here are the instructions. For example, install all the packages, and then run the code spell, try to see whether you have any typos. Then you're going to do the testing. After that, it's going to deploy the website. So for us, we actually just using the same steps. Right? So all you need to do basically is just install the packages. You see, pretty much everything remains same. And so next, I'm going to show you step by step how we actually install all the dependencies, and then we can start building the website locally. So you can test it, see if it is correct or not. And what we need is this one, requirements._dv. For welcome, if you want, you can just install this, but there are other packages in there. It doesn't hurt, so you can install them. What you need to do, I'm going to open my terminal here, and right now, right, I'm under my package. The first step is just to git pull, make sure your repo is up to date, and then make sure you conda activate to the environment that you have your package installed. Don't install into the base environment, okay? If you something show here on the base, make sure you just conda activate geo, right? And so right now I'm under the geo environment, then you usually pip list. And the other thing I want to point out here, many of you run into issues when you're trying to import your old package. Extended, your package is not available, blah, blah, blah. And most likely the reason is that you're not in the correct environment, or either in the environment, your package is not installed properly. So pay attention, right? When I scroll down, you tell me when you see something different. You see anything different? See that? This is the only one. It's different. The reason for that I use pip install -e period. The -e basically means like install from that one, but it's link to that one. You don't actually install it. It's just pointing to that one. This is the file path. So if when you are testing your package, if you don't see this one, that means you didn't install properly. That means you are installing the package. So if you update your package, you add some new functions, and then trying to test in your notebook, it doesn't work because you didn't install. So always need to come here, get into the directory, then it will be pip install. If it's just like pip install period, this is one time only. You are copying the file from here into the Python environment. Whatever you update after is not going to be available. But if you use pip install -e period, that means I ask it to install the package, but you maintain the file in here. So when you are testing your notebook, it's going to import from here. Make sense? No? Let me show you. Let me show you where the package is being installed. Then you understand the differences. Okay. So if I go to my user directory, you need to understand like how Python actually packages installation works. So under my user directory, right? So here I'm under my Unicorn 3, and you should have this EMVS, right? So my environment name is called Geo, right? So do you know where are the packages being installed under here? Oh, there's like either you can make the class icons. Oh, nice. Bit too big. Okay, last icons. Okay, something like this. So where is the package actually installed? Have you ever looked into that? Pip. Oh, it's then where is it? Pips, and then what else? Type package. Yes. Another time. Oh, here. Really too much. The list. Oops. Detail maybe. Anyway, so look at this. All the packages coming here, installing here. And if you scroll down, you're always going to see a package and then a dist info or something. So your package is being installed, is come. If you don't find a package in here, that means it's not being installed. So for me, for example, my package is called geo hey oh yeah, do you see my package here? No? Nothing, right? It doesn't show me here. But if I come back to here, I just pip install serial. Okay. Pip install serial. And let's see what happened, right? Just install. Processing, blah blah. And oh, this is the other one. So you're going to basically get all the dependencies that I include in my requirements.txt, and it's going to install all of them. So after that, you should find the item somewhere in here. And if I install this way, then I go back to pip this, you're not going to see the file path. That means anything I made, changes I make to the packages after I install is not available because you are already copying the file from here to here and it's done. It's not updating automatically. So let's see after it's done and see what happened. Okay, pay attention to the left. It should come up shortly. So it's also uninstalled the previous one that I have. Right now it's 0.05. See that? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Right? See this? Now it's installed. And you see all the files being copied here. If the file exists under these side packages, it's done deal. Even if you make changes to your packages, you won't be able to test it. So if you add new functions and then try to import your package and then try to test it, it says not available. It's because of this. So you always need to basically, when you're doing the testing, just come back to here. Anytime if your package is not functioning as it's supposed to be, or it's not available or something, just come here, just and then activate the contact environment, just pip this. Just scroll up. And if you don't see the file path under beneath, that means your package is not right. It's not installed properly. So we go straight up here, And now if you see my package here, Geospatial 0.05, that's it. It's installed. It's a hard copy, not a soft copy. This is not what you want. You always want to do the other one. So for example, right now, if I try it one more time, did they see if this one be deleted or not? So if I install once again, and then use the pip install -e this, I suppose it should delete the one under side packages, because right now it's basically pointing to my package under my downloads directory, not under here. No, it doesn't matter. The version that comes from the file, the records. But when you are installing this way, it's installing whatever version you have. So any changes that you make, you'll be available immediately. Or then you need to use pip install -e. Yeah, basically install again. But like I said, if you install this way, you don't need to do it in the future. It will always, whatever version that you have, you'll be updated directly in here. Yeah, -e. You see? Now look at the left. Gone. That means the package right now is not being installed here. It's using a virtual pointer pointing to my package right now under my C drive downloads directory. Right, so my package is actually in here. So whenever you use a notebook to import Geospatial, it's going to come here to import the source code from here, not under the source, not under side packages. Right. So again, pip list, and this time you see again, it should come back. So this is a super important step that if you don't do it correctly, you are not testing your package, you are testing something else. Right. So now if I see here, it is right version 0.05 and the 5 paths. So if you're developing a package, you should see the 5 paths in here. Otherwise, it's not set up properly. This is why when you import your library and then your library doc function, it says not available, then look at this way. You can still develop, but the changes you made is not going to work. You need to pip install period every time. Pip install period every time it's going to install. But there's no point, right? When you're doing the development, you want to changes that you make, you want to test it right away. So if you don't do it, it's not going to work. Yeah, -e is the one that you need when you install the package, but you only do it once. You don't need to do it all the time. Other questions? Good. Yeah, just for development. Just for development. But if you delete this folder on your computer, it's gone. Your package will be broken. Then you can use pip install, the name of the package, because I already published one on PyPI, so I can. So there's 3 ways you can install, right? You can either, for example, pip install Geospatial, whatever name of package. This one is going to download from the internet. Period means I'm installed from my current directory, because under this package directory, I can install from my current directory. And then it's going to copy the file from my current directory to the side packages folder officially. But if you use -e, it's going to install from the current folder. It's not going to copy the file to the side packages. It's just going to basically point to here. So when you're importing, it's going to import. Make sense? So this is how you install basically the development version of your package. And after that, let's see how we build the website. So build a website, you need to install additional packages. Again, under your package, you should find this one. Requirements._.txt. So this one lists all the packages that you need to build, do the testing and other stuff. And what we want to do is to install all the dependencies. So this one, you need to use pip install -r. R basically going to read the file, and then requirements_dev.txt. Okay, make sure you activate into your contact environment, otherwise it's not going to work. So once you're inside the environment, then you can use this way, and then pip install -r. -r means we're going to read from the file, and then just hit enter. It's going to install a bunch of packages. And sometimes it might break your environment. Okay, because the previous environment we mostly install using conda, and sometimes some of these might break it. If it happens, then you need to resolve it. But these are pretty small packages, so usually it should be fine. If you're installing IPyLibre and other stuff, sometimes it's a bit tricky. But this one I think be okay. So wait for it to finish, then we have all the dependency we need to build the environment. So the next one I will show you here. Again, if you forget like how to build the pet website, you go to GitHub workflows and then docs build. You scroll down to the bottom here. This is the link. This is the command line. MkDocs build. Basically, you're going to build the website, and then you're going to generate HTML. So the website we are only creating using Markdown, but eventually it's HTML website. And if you really want to see how it works, let me show you in here. Go to my GitHub repo. And let me show you here. Where is the website being hosted, right? The website actually hosted on GitHub. And the reason is because my website is built from the GitHub GitHub pages. So if you go to pages, right, you should be able to see, last time I showed you, we use the GitHub pages branch. GitHub pages branch is updated every time we commit changes to the main branch. So it's actually here, right? So we have the main branch. You go to your GitHub, you should see this, at least two of those in here. And if I click the GitHub pages, look at this one. It looks different from my main repo, right? It's all blah, blah, Markdown, and then HTML. Inside here, everything has an HTML. So basically, it's converting the Markdown to HTML. So that you don't have to worry about HTML, you just use Markdown. But under the hood, it's generating the file like this. So eventually you can have the website. So what we want is to build locally and then see how it works. So the command, again, if you come back to this one here, the command is called MkDocs build or MkDocs serve. MkDocs build basically just build the website. Serve means it's going to open the website for you. So usually, if you're just doing, what happened? Checking. And MkBuild or MkDocs serve is for building locally. But if you want to deploy to the cloud, deploy to this one, it's using this here. MkDocs GitHub pages deploy force. That means it's going to override your website. And this is why every time you add something to add some new functionality to your package, eventually the website will be updated automatically because of this one. So basically, every time you build a website and then override the existing one, whenever you commit changes to your GitHub main branch. Okay, it's done. So now let's test it. So like I said, MkDocs build or MkDocs serve. I recommend just MkDocs DOCS serve. That means we want to build the website and then open it. And the reason why you can use this command is because we have an MkDocs YML file under this current directory. If that file doesn't exist, you will not be able to use this. So right now, let's try this one. MkDocs serve. Oh, not server, MkDocs serve, SERV. And then it's going to go through all the files, and then it's going to convert all the Markdown to HTML. It's also going to convert all the Jupyter notebook to HTML. And eventually, you're going to have the website. So this might be slow. It depends on how your website is complicated. So what you want to do is open this one. So your website is being controlled by this file. How the website is going to look is coming from this website. And take a look. So we have the home page. Everything else is free funds. You can just use the default one. And so most of the time you only need to deal with this here, the table content, right? The menu, the examples, the notebook, whatever things you need here. And it's going to convert everything slowly. If you run into any errors, you will see, you will notice from here. So next time if you commit something to your website, to your repo, the website failed to build, You can look at the error messages on the GitHub Actions, or you can try to build locally. See how it works. If you fail locally, most likely you fail also on top. So now look at this one, right? It's converting the notebook, blah blah, IPy divlet, IPy widget IPMB, IPYMB, right? So basically, it's converting everything under my docs directory. So look at this one. So the whole website is being built using the content within here. And we have all the markdowns. We also have the examples, right? Under here is converting this stuff. Also the lab, for example, right? The override, this one is basically have the download button. So this one is already included on your website, so you don't have to worry about that. And also I have a lot of Python notebook in here. So if your notebook, if you look at this one, let me scroll up here, this YML, and this is the one that you might want to pay attention. These are the sections where you decide whether to execute your notebook or not. Because when you are running the website, sometimes if you remember that in the previous level assignment, right, your notebook failed because you have some input functions. Because those are interactive. When it's running automatically, there's no input. There's no, you're gonna hang in there because you're waiting for the input. You cannot provide input for a virtual computer. So it's right gonna start. You can either comment it out, or you can ignore this so that you will not run notebooks. But you don't want to ignore all of them because eventually you want your testing to work. You want to design the notebook. If everything is ignored, then you cannot detect the errors. So try not to ignore everything. You want to turn this one execute to true, and then if anything you ignore, you put in the here. So for example, I ignore like leg 5, leg 4 because we have some input and other stuff in here. And some of these, sometimes if you fail, if there's a certain dependency or something, then it's not going to, it's going to fail. And it already finished. So now look at this one. You see, everything is done. It looks like there's no error. So the last line here shows you blah blah was passed blah blah serve on this one. So this is actually the website MkDocs.serve. So if you hover your mouse and then click follow link, okay, and look at this one. Right now it's running locally, right? It's not my geohe.xyz. It's running 127.000 and then with a port number 8000. If I click this one, okay, notice that everything works just fine locally. I can open a notebook. I can open the lab. So this one is how you build locally. And where do you find this one? It's actually under the same direction here. So if you go to your package directory, now you should see, where is it? Docs. This should be a sites folder. Oh, I think it's missing somewhere. Oh, MkDocs.serve. What is just it builds and then it serve on a temporary directory. But if you want to save it, you can write MkDocs build. Build is going to create a folder, save example here, called site. So let me try one more time. If you want to see the file, let me Control C, shut it down, and do it again. MkDocs build. That means you build the website, and you can see, you can have access to all the files. And what you want to get is the same file directory like what you get from the GitHub pages branch. If you go to my this one, right, you want to get all the files like this after it's finished building. So the longer, kind of the recommendation would be, if your notebook takes really long to execute, you might want to ignore it. If your notebook has some dependencies or have some input function, have something that is not going to work, then you want to ignore it. But for other notebooks, you want to execute them because it helps you catches the errors before. Otherwise, nothing is being tested yet. We haven't. There's also other things you can test in here under the test directory. We haven't covered this one yet. This is also can help you do the testing. But for now, this one here cannot test the notebook because most of our stuff is interactive. So we have those notebook. We want to test the notebook. So if you add any raster and any vector, you want to make sure that you execute from the beginning to the end. Then you can see the outputs. So again, take this one, please. Let me see if it now. Your functions, your packages. Import your packages, can see if your package works or not. And then you, for example, you create a map, map.add vector, map.add raster. But those things, if you test it, it should work properly. If it doesn't work, that means something is wrong with your package. Right? Or later on, we can use the write some tests in here. We haven't covered this one yet. This one is more like traditional testing, but there's no notebooks, there's no interface. It's just writing the code, and then you expect what outcome it to be, and then you're going to match your outcome. If it doesn't match, then you fail. The next way, this is all the automatic testing. So all the software development, for example, Microsoft, Mac, right? And whenever you release a new version, you don't think just like they just develop and then just push to the users. No, you need to go through a lot of robust testing. Otherwise, people are going to like, let's say if you are old enough to experience the Windows XP blue screen. Have you ever encountered that? Windows XP. How many have used Windows XP? Blue screen. Yeah, and then you just frozen your screen, and then what's that? Those are things that sometimes there's so many different computers. You think about so many different hardware, so many vendors, and you need to design something that works everywhere. It's not going to be easy. And so if you don't like enough testing, your program will fail. For example, your program works. Oh, on my Windows works fine. Then on Mac it doesn't work. On Linux it doesn't work. No good. Okay, so you need to make sure that you test the environment. That's why we use the GitHub Actions, because it tests against Windows, Linux, Mac computers. So if it works there, you pretty sure something is going to work. For example, if you come back to my GitHub Actions, right? You click here, I have all this. For example, Docs build, Linux build, Mac OS build, right? Windows build. So that means every time if I push changes to my GitHub, it's going to build against those different operating systems. If it works, most likely it works. Otherwise, if you don't test it, people want to report issues all the time. All right, so let me come back to here, see if it's done. Oh, you see, it's done. Blah, blah, and then let's see where it's located. I come back right now to my package. You see, where is it? This one. This will be a site. Yeah, here. Look at this one, sites. This is where I use the MkDocs build. And look at this. This is the exact same content of this GitHub pages. Come here, GitHub pages. Look at this. Assets, blah, blah, all the folder. And then after that, you have like HTML. Look at this. The same. So right now, we're building locally on GitHub. It's the same thing. It's running all those commands, MkDocs to build, and then push to the GitHub pages branch. Override the content. This is why every time if you commit changes, you're going to do this. And at the bottom here, you see this index.html. Similarly here. This is the entry point to your website. So open it. Look at this. Why mic? Move. Open again. Okay. So compared to earlier, I use MkDocs stuff. You see the HTTP URL, right? Right now, basically, this is just a file. But the file is actually a website, right? And the only difference is if I click, you're going to show you like another HTML. You click again, it's going to come back. So it's not as convenient if you want to explore that. But the reason for that is every folder inside there, you're going to have an index.html. So basically a subdirectory. And same thing here, example, you're going to have different subdirectories. So everything that is basically what you need for the website. And similarly, I click this one, I'm going to take to the GitHub, or maybe contributing, right? Right here. And also the notebook, for example, Python. Get started. Okay. Look at this. this notebook is being converted to this HTML. Or similarly, let's look at another one. Okay. The same. This one right now is this blah blah index.html. If I click this one download, right now it doesn't work because it's a file it's coming from that notebook. But it works if you deploy it. So this one, this is why the notebook and also the examples are under the same directories. When the user go to download it, they go to this website and then they're going to download this notebook. So the notebook is being converted to HTML so that you can render on the website. This is why you see my website here. Go to here. Go to my examples of those. Take this one. It's and download. But everything is already built in the template, so you don't need to do anything. What do you mean application? Oh, sometimes, for example, if it fail, when you push to GitHub, your website fail, doesn't work. And you need to keep pushing, keep rebuilding. And sometimes you just cannot figure out. You might run into like you push 10 commits, your website still fail. But you don't have to commit. You can just test the website locally. Once it works out, then you push. Right? So allows you also to see what the website looks like before. If you make some changes, for example, add a new image, you add a new video, you might be wondering like, is that going to be good looking on the website? Because you cannot see it until the website is being built and merged into your main website. This is good for testing because imagine you are working for a company and you are trying to release a new website. You certainly want to see the website before it releases to the public, right? Otherwise, when you open it up, it's like mess. It's no good, right? You always want to see it before you release it. And this is the way that you can see it locally, taste it. See if there's something you like, for example, I want to add a new photo, I want to add a new menu. Sometimes it might not turn out as you like. Then you make changes until you are good. Kind of like you're submitting a manuscript to a journal. You want to do like a lot of reviews before you submit to the journal. You don't want like, yeah, this is the draft, boom, and then there's no return, right? You already just like water when you pour out, it's done deal. Then you need to go back to recheck. Okay, oh, I submitted the wrong file. Just like you submit to Canvas, right? You want to make sure you check everything is correct. Don't submit. And I told you that you submitted the wrong link. Please fix it. So this is the same way. Allows you to do things. Keep checking it before you. And you can also like somehow looking like how the website being viewed. This is basically the content of the entire website. And if you really want to, if you don't want to use, for example, GitHub pages to host, all you need is just zip this directory, put it into any HTTP server, unzip it, it will work just fine. So this allows you basically take the whole website. This is the whole website. It's not very big, I think, maybe a couple megabytes, like 24 something megabyte. This is the whole website. Again, we're not doing anything, right? We're not doing any HTML. It's being generated automatically using the MkDocs. All we need is just using Markdown, right? So for example, right now this is the website, and then I'm going to a home page. Yeah, it doesn't look good, right? Fields only generate some random numbers. So then I can do a lot more, right? So then I can come back to here. I can start fixing it. I can go to my docs website. I can go to this one, and then I can start, for example, in here, right? Create the active map, not volume, create internet map, visualize geospatial data, visualize raster data, same thing, visualize vector data. Nonsense. Anyway, right? I'm done, and then I don't need to commit right now. Even I haven't commit yet, because if you commit to GitHub, it's part of history. So never commit too much, too frequent, because sometimes once you commit, you push, it's gone. But for here, I don't need to, right? I only need to just like review and then see what it looks like. It's going to be reflected on your website. So But this is going to take some time because every time you're rebuilding, it's going to run all the notebook from the beginning to the end. It can be particularly useful, especially if you have some new functions and you add a new notebook to test the functions, but you don't want to commit yet because you want to basically test things carefully before you commit. So I can, for example, come back to here. I can add a new notebook, for example, right? Get a new notebook and then write some functions, testing, and make sure also you add the notebook to the MkDocs YML. Otherwise, it's not going to show up. So you want to come to here. You add any notebook, you want to add this one. So I believe I missed something, right? CSV, yeah, it's there. Demo is there. Intro, iPad widget, random, master, toolbar, vector. Is the vector here? Vector is not here, right? So for example, I can come here, Control C, Control V, and then vector. So I add a new notebook to my website, and I can just wait for it to build to finish. After that, you should have the new website updating, right? So if I come back to here, right now this is the same the file that I'm looking at right now. My computer, oh, you see, it's even gone. The website was being deleted when I was rebuilding. So right now it's not accessible. But after it's done, you should be able to see the updated description that I just added. And it's going to take some time, but this is how you can do the testing locally. Because when you're pushing to GitHub, you don't want to push too many commits. That means you're in kind of panic mode, trying to push to fix things. But most people just test locally and then just push one commit. You get things resolved. You don't have to keep messing around with your repo, because the more commits that you have, the file size of your repo is getting bigger and bigger. You certainly don't want to do that too frequently. So basically, be cautious. Test it locally, make things works, and just push and then merge the pull request. So if you are testing something, you suspect that it's going to take a while to resolve, don't push to the main branch directly. Try to create a new branch, do the testing, push to the GitHub, and then create a new pull request, and then merge it back. So in that way, you can basically squash all the commit into one. Okay, you see it's done. Now let's take a look. Come back to here. Oops. And refresh. And click this index HTML. See? Comes. And if you go to my main website, it's not there yet because I haven't pushed yet. So take a look at this, right? This is still showing just like random numbers. And this is how you should be doing, like commit the changes. So after this, right, that means everything works fine. Okay, and then from here, MkDocs, like YML, vector, index. That's good. So now I can start. Don't push too directly, okay? I recommend, although right now for you guys it's very simple, so you can keep pushing, but in case it fail, I will always just create a new branch. So git checkout -b, basically a new branch, and then maybe I just say docs. Any names fine. After that, then you can come back to here. I can say update text.md or whatever, right? And MkDocs. Okay. Docs. Then Control Enter. So after everything works fine and it moves the pull request, then I can create a new release. This is the whole process, the whole cycle. You're working on something, create a new branch, or you can create a new branch first and then work on something, and then push the new branch to GitHub, create a new pull request, merge the pull request, git pull, again and again. This is how you're supposed to do the development, how you're supposed to contribute to open source. And once you're good enough, you're welcome to look around all the packages that you're using, try to identify. So then you become very picky, become someone that's always trying to find something that not right for package. So once you become at that stage, you know what kind of things might go wrong, or what you can fix a typo, you can fix a broken link, you can add some new function, you can fix pretty much anything. If you really want, you can go to those. There are tons of packages that you can contribute. You're welcome to contribute to my packages. There are tons of those out there that you can improve. There are also a lot more other packages out there that, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Always very slow, so the recording is anyway. So once it's done, then you guys should be able to, for example, come here, wait for a little bit, and then it should say whether you want to create a pull request or not. Come on, done yet? Out of time now. 3 minutes. Hopefully we finish. So anytime, for example, if you are not satisfied with your website, then you probably want to look at like what do you want to do. If you want to change the menu here, then you add a new markdown under the docs directory. Right now, for example, installation uses, you can have another one, for example, get started, right? If you want to show some user how to get started, then you come here, okay, or finally it's done. So then can come here under the doc. So all the website, all the files, anything for your website, you need to create, you need to come somewhere here. So right now, for example, there's no get started yet. I can right click and then new file, and then you can have one to get underscore started. So MD, okay, and all the files should be MD or should be notebook. Then just hit enter, and then you can just look at what it looks like in other markdown, right? So you're going to have one hashtag, level 1, level 2, blah blah, and something like that. So what I can do here, it will be get things started, okay. Then it will be like underscore, right? Installation, and then like this. Keep install. This is under the installation phase, but I'm just showing you. Then you have another one, for example, oh, package, blah blah, in something like that. So you can have some video, have some demo, something like that, and after that, users should be able to just go to the page. And what you need to do is to go to this MkDocs here, and this is where you control where you want it to be, right? So for example, under the installation uses, and then maybe you can have another one here called hyphen get started, for example, right? Colon, and then put in the file name of your markdown. So you'll be get started, the file name that we just created, something like this. Once you have this new file will be, it's going to show up on the left side here, okay? Anyway, so we push the branch. Now it's going to show up in your web page, and it's create a new pull request. You can see the differences, blah blah, something like in here, and you can write a description, say what you did, just create new branch, new pull request, and wait for it to finish. This is where right now it's doing all the testing. So you may notice in here, docs build, right? This is the one that's testing the branch. No, it's building it, but it's not pushing to your website yet. But if it fails, it's not going to push the website. If it's successful, that means it's ready to be pushed. Then after you do the merge, then it's going to run the docs. And this one right now is docs build just for the pull request. Okay, this is pretty simple. I know it's not going to run into any issues, so I'm just going to merge. And once it's merged to the main branch, you come back to the main branch and see this one here. Now you should see the docs deploy. That means it's merged. I know it's ready. Then it's going to build this website and then going to override your existing website. So that's like we never have to touch the website. Everything is built automatically. And it's going to build all the packages, and this is the website. Also going to test all the installation. So once it's done, again, you need to come back to your local repository here. Just git, check out main. You check out the main branch. And it's going to ask you blah blah. You have something commit blah blah blah, because it's kind of different. So for here, you can either commit, but I usually don't recommend. I just delete all the files so that anyway my local copy is clean. And then just git pull, then it should work. Oops. Git checkout name was not successful earlier. And then git pull. Okay. So now I'm up to date with my GitHub repo. Again, create a new branch again, make some changes, push most of the pull requests, and then git check out the main again and again. This is how the whole cycle that you should be doing. And after that, one last step is to, for example, after you're done, I need to release a new version. So then you put in here, it will be bump to version, bump version, okay? H is to release a new version. Oops, something is wrong. Bump my version, bump PAT. Oh, hyphen, okay. But I think it's something wrong with this. So fix it. Bump my version. Hopefully it works. Okay, you see it's done. Then git push text. It's going to push all the text to new version. You see now it's 0.06, and then git push. So git push text just to push the text to GitHub. Basically, it's just like taking a snapshot. So now if I come back to my repo in here, we do it real quick. Under the release, right? You see my old version is 0.05. So I should update it to 0.06. So now I just need to click here, releases, and then go to text. You should see 0.06 in here. Then just come here, create a new release, and then generate release notes. See all the pull requests automatically will be generated in here. Take a look at the preview, and boom. Release a new version to the world, and then anyone can install it. You can have the new website, you can have the new package with functionality. Okay. So that's all for today. So hopefully it clear up some of the things that you might have run into in the future, in the past or in the future. And so for next lecture, we're going to continue with IPy widget stuff. Okay.